A shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, call Haloim Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is the brother Yatabia with Allah coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. And, I just got a quick update, on the World War III talks. I got an article here, and Lord's will I can hit some precepts, and it'll be edifying. But basically, the article reads from Reuters.com. Iran accelerates enrichment of uranium to near weapons grade, IAEA says. It says, Iran has accelerated its enrichment of uranium to near weapons grade, the UN atomic watchdog said in a report on Tuesday seen by Reuters, a move raising tensions with the West as both sides seek to resume talks on reviving Tehran's nuclear deal. It says Iran increased the purity of which it is refining uranium to 60% from 20% in April in response to an explosion and power cut at its Natanz site that damaged output at the main underground enrichment plant there. It says Iran has blamed the attack on Israel. Weapons grade is around 90% purity. In May, the International Atomic Energy Agency reported that Iran was using one cascade or cluster of advanced centrifuges to enrich up to 60% of its above-ground pilot enrichment. It says the AEA informed member states on Tuesday that Iran was now using a second cascade for that purpose too. It says the move is the latest of many by Iran breaching the restrictions. What happened here? It says the move is the latest of many by Iran breaching the restrictions imposed by the 2015 nuclear deal, which capped the purity to which Tehran can refine uranium at 3.67%. It says the United States and its European allies have warned such moves threaten talks on reviving the deal, which are currently suspended. But basically, as you can see, Iran is making that weapons grade purity uranium, to produce what? Nuclear weapons, And just this quick little article here, I'm just going to read the title, but it says Iran accuses Israel of sabotaging nuclear site, vows revenge. So you know what this is going to lead to, And what does the scripture say? Since, Israel's always provoking, which that's the so-called Jew, and they're the least of Edom. But this is Jeremiah 50 and 45, and it says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. So if you can understand this, this is talking about America. And this is talking about drawing them out into a world's war. Now it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, meaning that small nation, Israel, that small little piece of land that is controlled by Israel, or I should say the Edomites right now, because those aren't the true Israelites. They're called Israelis, the Jewish, but that small group of Edomites is going to draw out Babylon or America into this third world's war. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So ultimately, the land over there is going to be destroyed. America is going to be destroyed. But you can see, Israel's always provoking these Middle Eastern countries, And what are they provoking them for? Well, this is prophecy, And this is eventually going to unfold into World War III, and both those land pieces being destroyed by thermonuclear fire, But see, this is why we always have our eyes to the Middle East. We always have our eyes on that land over there, Israel, ran by the Amalekites and all these other little Middle Eastern countries, because we know through prophecy that that's where it's going to pop off, But I'm going to grab this real quick. This is in Joel, the 3rd chapter, and I'll start at verse 9. And it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And, Iran used to be some of those mighty men, those Medes and those Persians, basically Elam. It says, but wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So you can see the Lord is putting the spirit on these nations to what? To gear up for war, you know? And we can see that by this, you know, this what is it called? Purity, 60% purity, which they said they only need, a couple more percent to get to nuclear capabilities, And that's exactly where they're going. But it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I am strong. And that's what you see going on, And it's not just Iran, it's all these different countries. And you can see, all the little puzzle pieces being put into place, especially over there in Afghanistan, all these little Middle Eastern countries, they're fostering deals with the Russians, with the Chinese, and they're building up their arsenals, because what? War is coming, But it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I set to judge all the heathen round about. And that's what you're going to see. That's why we'll always have our eyes to that so-called Middle East region, which is that valley of Yahweh Shaphat, because that's where that war is going to pop off. And you can see, things being put into place. Iran, building up their arsenal, so to speak, getting ready to build nuclear weapons, and Iran, Russia, they all have, strong ties, Russia always backs Iran's back, so Iran's against Israel, America backs Israel and Russia backs Iran, and that's prophecy, I'm going to grab this in Isaiah 13 and verse 17. And it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. And we understand, we go into this all the time, going into the Russians, but Iran consists of that ancient empire as well. When you look on an ancient map, of the Medo-Persian Empire, Iran is smack dab in the middle. Now, what is the Lord doing? We can see he's stirring up the Medes against them. Hey, Iran's always talking that shit to Israel, But what does it say? Which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So, hey, Russia being coming against America, America being that melting pot of nations, but also that number one consumer nation. Everybody gets wealthy off America. But see, Iran as well. Iran, the so-called Jews run the world, but Iran ain't. They don't give a fuck going against those Jewish in Israel. So what does it say? Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So ultimately, America is going to be destroyed. But we got in Jeremiah that Israel is going to be destroyed as well. That land has to be cleansed. I'm going to get this last precept and close out. This is Revelations 11 and verse 14. And it says, the second woe is past, which was going into World War II. It says, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So, World War III is right around the corner. And you can see, the pieces being put together by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You see Iran building up their nuclear arsenal. You can understand and see the different allies being put together, And by prophecy, we understand that Israel is going to be that little factor, the so-called Jew in Israel is going to be that little factor that draws America in to the Third World War, And that's going to be, what do they say? The war to end all wars, But yeah, that's just a quick little update showing you that, prophecy is speaking louder than ever. And not actually, let me just get that real quick. Habakkuk 2 and 3. or I'll start from the top. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me. And, this is what we're doing. This is why we bring out the articles that we bring out, and we go into what's happening in the world, and we're matching it up with what? Prophecy, And then when the Spirit comes upon us, this is why we do lessons on it, and we bring out the scriptures to let everybody know, hey, this is prophecy. It says, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And that's, what has happened, with the scriptures and been breaking down by our apostles and elders on down to understand these prophecies. Now we're doing the same thing, And it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. And when what World War III is one of those end time prophecies. And we're seeing the pieces being put together to show that this prophecy is speaking louder than ever. Why? Because we're at the end, and these things have to come to pass. It says, it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So we understand World War III is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And we can see everything being put into place to let us know that, hey, this war is right around the corner, And there's a reason why everything's always popping off in the Middle East. Hey, there's a reason why America just drew out of Afghanistan and the Taliban are, running amok, which it looks like a setup, but we'll see what happens, That's why we're on our watch. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's just a quick update on the World War III. Lord's will, this is edifying. Once again, call Haloim Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, and above all.